Welcome aboard once again to the weekly Mac Forum video chat. It's April 9th of 2016. I almost moved this. Let's try that again. Welcome aboard. I'll stop my little time traveling routine here. And it is April 9th of 2017, and you're tuned in to the Mac Forum video chat. That little beep that you heard let me know that it's time to get going, so let's get right into it. We'll cut out my attempt at time travel here. I'm gonna just refresh the page here, and it looks like our newest member is going to be, let me just give it a second to reload the page here. All right, now, there we go. Our newest member is John Dev. So welcome to them and all of our new members who have joined in the past week. Hope that they find some useful information here in the forum. Let's move on into, speaking of the forum, let's move on into the roundup and see what we have on this week's plate. First of all, member Michelangelo talked about, started a thread about changing Apple ID password and an issue that they had with it. And I included this thread in part because it brings to light two things. First of all, the need to change your password periodically, not just on your Apple ID, but on all of your online accounts. And I suspect that most of us don't do that nearly as frequently as we should. And there are some links to some very good information in this thread. And also in that, the other reason that I mentioned this thread in particular is that this particular member talked about some of the places that he had to change passwords that some of us don't necessarily think about. We don't realize that when we change our Apple ID, for most of us, that affects changing our App Store settings. Sometimes that's done automatically, sometimes not, depending upon how we have things set up. Changing the settings of the iTunes Music Store, those purchases may affect if we're members of the Apple discussion boards, things of that nature. But also sometimes, we forget about things like iMessage. One of the things that relies on that Apple ID and password. And also later in the thread, this particular member mentioned that he's running a utility called Carbon Copy Cloner. And that utility can it's a backup utility that either produces a bootable backup of your entire hard drive or can be used to back up certain files and folders on your drive. And one of the things that you can do with that program is to configure it to send you an email when various events happen. And if you're using your Apple ID, one of your, like for example, your me.com accounts and iCloud.com account, something of that nature, as your account to send the email from in that program, when you change that password, then you've also got to change it in that program. That's one reason so many of our users are using password managers of one sort or another. But it's an interesting thread to get us thinking about issues relative to changing passwords and some of the complexities involved with that. And also, here's another one. This is from member Rod Sprague. I've referenced several of his threads over the past few months. This one is an article that he found from How To Geek about optimizing Safari's preferences for maximum privacy. And a link to the thread. How To Geek goes into a little more detail, things that you may want to turn off or adjust. It's a very good reference. I won't walk you through it tonight. Let me stop my thread here.
I'm not dressed.
I know. I got to stop my thread.